bell work today is exactly what we learned yesterday. It's the exact same stuff. Yesterday when we ended with whiteboards, this is what we were doing. So we didn't have homework last night. We want to double check, make sure we know what's going on. Number 1 says f of g of 3, and we have those equations across the top there. Ty, I'm starting off with this number 3. What am I going to do with that number 3? Plug it into the equation in front of it. He said plug it into g. So if we take 3, we are doing g of 3, which means 2 plus 3. He's taking this 3 right there and plugging it in right there. So 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9. Cool, we got that answer. Okay, once I get that answer, Shanae, what am I going to do with that? Plug it into which one now? And we just did this, and now it's going into F. Good. So we get that 9, bless you, and we're going to plug it into the equation before it. So she gets 9, and she plugs it into F. So she's plugging 9 in right there. So it's going to be this problem, that equation, but now instead of x, she's going to put a 9 in its spot. So 9 squared plus 1, that's 81, plus 1 is 82. Take the number, plug it in, get that answer, plug it in, get an answer. Number 2 says g, open circle, f of x. Don't be scared by that open circle. Remember, that open circle is the same thing as a parenthesis. So if you want to put a parenthesis through it, do that. It's plugging in, just like we did in the last one. Okay? Which equation, Christian, are we going to start with to do g of f of x? Which one's on the inside? The f. This is on the inside. That's what I'm plugging in. It's going in the middle. Okay, so this f of x equation, this equation right here, what are you going to do with it? Perfect. Plug what this is right here into the g equation for where that x was. So if I wrote down that g equation, it'd be 2 something plus 3. Only instead of where that x was, he's going to replace it with this new equation, which is x squared plus 1. Good. I want to simplify this. Honorata, what could I do to simplify that? Yeah, distribute. Good. We distribute to both things, so 2x squared plus 2 plus 3. And then to finish, yep, combine like terms, 2x squared plus 5. There's my answer. Questions on number 2? Number 3 says h minus g. H minus g. I'm going to write them down. There's nothing fancy about this problem. It's just read the directions and do them. H. So h is 4x minus. So 4x minus g, which is 2x plus 3. If I write it like that, it's going to be wrong. Shania, what do I have to do instead here? Put parentheses around it. Why? I need to change my signs. I'm subtracting that whole thing. If you don't do that, it'll just be minus the 2x when I want that minus whole thing. So she said we need to change our signs. We're going to distribute in that negative sign. So my new problem is 4x minus 2x and minus 3. From there, it's just a matter of combining like terms. 4x minus 2x is 2x minus 3. Yes, ma'am. No. When we plug in when it's in parentheses or when there's an open circle. Here, it just says minus. It just says minus, so don't start plugging stuff in. We just subtract the two things. Does that make sense? You just look for it. And it mixes together and it starts getting a little gray. Okay, but just read what's saying. Okay, I'm guessing this next one was also throws a lot of kids off. That's why I threw it in here. It's g with that dot and then f of x. What are we doing here with our g and our f equations? Multiplying. That's a multiplication sign, so I am multiplying on this problem. I'm writing down the g, which is 2x plus 3, and I'm writing down the f, which is x squared plus 1. And I need to multiply those things together. So what do I need to do to make this problem a little bit easier to read? Yeah, I'm eventually going to put it in order, but first I got to put it in parentheses, and I got to do my multiplication. Okay, it's multiplication. I'm taking this times that, so I put it in parentheses. To multiply this, I need to FOIL it out. So that'll look like this. I'm starting with this 2x right here. 2x times x squared. Robbie, what's that going to get me? 2x, it was squared, to the third now, because it's x times x squared, so that gets us x cubed. And then 2x times 1, 2x. And then we do this next number. So we've got this 3 times x squared, 3x squared. And then this 3 times 1 plus 3. That's my answer. That's not the best answer in the world. It's the right answer. You won't see it like this very much. Instead, they'll flip these two things, this 2x plus 3. That's in order. So that's the better version of it. But if you left it like it was, it would be fine. Questions with something there in Bellwork? Let's do one more while I pass out notes to make sure we know what's going on. So on your notes or somewhere, or even just in your brain if you want, I want you to do this problem. G of f of h of 0. G of f of h of 0. Try that. Let's do this problem. G of f of h of 0. If I'm starting with this problem, Austin, what am I starting with? Into the 0 in for x in the h equation. If you plug 0 in for x right there, Austin, what's 4 times 0 going to get you? 0. So this right here is 0. Once he's gotten 0 there, Meredith, what is he going to plug that 0 into? Into the f equation. So it's f of 0. So now we're plugging 0 in here. If you plug 0 and you square it, you get 0 plus 1, 1. F of 0 is 1. Once we've done that, then we're plugging it into which equation here? Anybody? G. I'm plugging it into the equation before that. So it's G at 1. So I'm taking 1 and I'm plugging it in right here. So my problem now is 2 times 1 plus 3. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 3 is 5. It looks really tough. It's not as hard as it seems. Questions on composition?